Yeah.
Maybe slowly in favour of ToastMonster, but it depends on that Druid deck. If it's Taunt, if it's Token, because if it's anything like Rogue or Shaman and anything like that, then Cat may struggle. But again, it's that Shaman deck. Is it a Shadow Walk? Is it an Even? You know, it depends on the matchup and the viability of how actually things will come out.
Really difficult to tell just from the classes at this point in time.
Yeah.
But we are in to our first game between Cat and ToastMonster, and as ever, half of ToastMonster's head on the screen, as it usually is. And it is going to be running what looks to be a Shudderwock Shaman versus this Priest you can see down the bottom here.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. Maybe Shadow will be slightly in favour, but of course it depends on his card draw and how things go. I don't know.
Well, believe it, I'm just going to have a look at the stats here.
Oh,
I know.
You are the stat man.
I am the stat man. I'm just going to be... So the Control Priest matchup for Shudderwock is 56% favoured in terms of ToastMonster. So he should realistically come out on top given the stats that we see here. So it is a slight favoured matchup initially for ToastMonster, and Cat will have a little bit of work to do to grind her way up and potentially take this first game of the series.
Because we've seen quite a few priests last week, and so far in the meta recently, we've seen a lot of Inner Fire priests as a reason. So seeing a control one, I'll be curious to see how ToastMonster deal with this. Of course, we've seen a lot of these Shadowwood decks deal with some of the mid-range and aggro quite well, and significantly quite surprising. But I think Cat may have a tough time with his priest deck, considering that the Shadowwalk is, of course, that control killer.
Yeah, so he's obviously going to be running the Mind Blasts, as you can see. He'll have those Mind Blasts, she'll have those Mind Blasts in the deck, and she'll be looking to generate as many of those as possible. If she can put pressure on the life total, that makes it slightly easier for her down the line. If she generates 3 or 4 Mind Blasts, you can get 20, you know, 25 if you're really lucky with comboing somewhere down the line. So obviously she'll be looking to do that.
He's got some decent cards herself, and he's got a loot hoarder to at least get some kind of card draw. Of course, with that power shield on top of that. As you can see from ToastMonster, he's got plenty of availability in terms of what he wants to do. He's got 2 chain gangs, so at least that way he's got something to keep him going a bit more. But of course, he's got that Hagger for another fantastic win condition, depending on how far Cat goes with this ball control.
Yeah, I think this is a matchup that you can't waste your Shudderwock on. So it's not like Leroy played it to just get board control. Yeah, I mean Leroy specifically did that to just contest the board against the Zoo Warlock, which I think was the best option. But ToastMonster needs to have the Grumble into the Shudderwock. He needs to have the right combo here in order for him to sort of be effective in this particular matchup.
Cat will know that she's not in too big a deal in terms of the circumstances at the moment. As you can see, he's got the Earth Shock, but not going to do too much for now. Maybe later on at the later stages, depending on if there's any taunts wants to get through. But then again, won't be too necessary. But at least this way now, he will take out the Acolyte, just so that it doesn't have too much card draw, which is perfectly understandable.
Again, the only worry that ToastMonster will have is that he does not want a big board to be staring him down from the other end. He wants to make sure that this gets to turn 10, his life total is in nice shape, he can draw cards, get towards those key cards, and if you look at his hand, he's got a lot of those key cards already. They're really the only things that he'll be kind of concerned about in some way, shape, or form, is that he might want life drinkers. He might not even run the life drinkers in this particular one. We'll have to see. You don't often need life drinkers versus sort of the slower matchups. You just look to grind them out with just constant pressure with Shudderwock after Shudderwock after Shudderwock. But he has got a lot of the key cards in the matchup. Like you see Grumble in hand. You can see double Shower Knight there. He's got Zola the Gorgon there as well. So lots of ways that you'll see things reflect back into his hand. And Cat is just going to slam down another Acolyte and continue to just slam 1 damage into face over and over again.
And she can so far, and it's like you mentioned before, with those life drinkers, that's no, absolutely right. It's mainly against mid-range or anything like that, which you will really struggle against, which may be a little bit more accessible and will keep you alive a little bit longer. But as you can see here, he's got 2 chain gangs, so at least for a few turns, it'll keep him at bay, waiting for those lightning storms or volcanoes or maybe hexes or anything like that, but he's just got mana tight to him now.
Yeah, I think it's very unlikely that he even needs to use volcanoes and lightning storms in this matchup. I mean, unless these primordial drakes become a major issue for you, I mean, you'll be holding on to those for the absolute most dire of circumstances. You don't really need to blow them. I mean, you're not worried about a double Acolyte on board with just 2 damage a turn. I mean, it's really not going to stress you out that much. And right now for ToastMonster, I think he's probably thinking between either just playing a Sour Knight or playing another totem and playing his Mana Tide, and it looks like that is going to be his course of action. Although he doesn't play the totem because he doesn't want to generate a 1-1 to make it. It was a 50% chance of generating a 1-1, which means that would have been free card draw for Cat.
And what you also got to remember is the fact that with those chain gangs as well, if only did 2 damage to the Acolyte, it can draw 2 anyway. It's
not Mind Blast Priest. It is actually Combo Priest. I was just assuming, because I saw the Shadow Visions come out, that this was going to be Combo Priest, which actually flips the percentage of this matchup much more in favor of Cat here. So ToastMonster will have to be careful, because if suddenly he leaves these up on board and you get really powerful minions, I mean, look at what Cat's got now. She's got double Divine Spirit and Inner Fire with 2 Acolytes on board. That's actually going to start putting out a serious amount of damage soon.
I don't blame her getting the Inner Fire. Sometimes when you're in Cat's position, especially in a late game, you will use Master Spell, depending on how many taunts ToastMonster does have. But I don't think it's too much of a bad thing at the moment. Of course, with the Inner Fire, and when she does get that lethal, she may have needed it. But she's got 1 in the deck anyway. It's just a matter of when she'll get it later on in the game.
So she's got lots of her combo pieces in hand right now. I think she's just thinking about the best way to sort of make her way through these taunts. It looks like she's got options of using the Cabal, which will just steal one of these Saranites and make it slightly easier eventually for her to churn through. I think otherwise she can just draw some cards. She's got the Elixir as well there. Acolyte's not really doing much because there isn't really these big beefy minions that you want to deal with, so it looks like it's going to be a Cabal turn.
Yeah, that was a great play. That's just typical, isn't it? The one she took was the 2-3. All that was desperate. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Every single time. So, no doubt about that. Of course.
If I chose the damage one, I'd be slapping myself in the head.
I'll just be like, you know what? It's just my luck, isn't it? You know, it's just absolutely typical. If there was like any other kind of circumstances, but I'm the kind of guy where back in the day, if there was 6 minions on the board, or if I had 6 minions on the board, and I had like 8 damage left on my hero, they would take out Ragnaros and it will hit my face. I'm one of those people where, yeah, luck's not always on my side sometimes.
So ToastMonster now actually is probably thinking he needs to be a little bit more careful about the state of this board, and he's actually going to use a really nice combo with the Pyromancer and the Hex, which clears up pretty much everything else, and it's going to mean they will heal back up nicely with that healing totem too. Oh, another Inner Fire. I mean, triple Divine Spirit. If she had a beefier minion on board, and I think this might even be cause to maybe play the Twilight Acolytes to force some kind of answer from ToastMonster, she could be in the realms of potentially one-shotting something soon.
That's right, and another thing to mention as well with this deck is the fact that if there are any Psychic Screams or anything like that, and ToastMonster didn't have his Shadow Walk in hand, then that can delay things further to at least get that decent-sized minion up, especially with the Inner Fires.
If ToastMonster doesn't put something down, I mean, he will. He'll put something down. But if he doesn't put something down this turn, I think triple Divine Spirit Inner Fire on the 3-4 just kills him. Because it's 32 damage, I believe.
Yeah, he's not going to have a good time at the moment. That Chain Gang, it's a good thing he had 2 in his decks, to say. And I spoke about earlier with that Master Spell. But,
that's a big draw. That is a massive draw for Cat because it cleans up everything. She can then heal up a little bit onto one of the targets that she potentially wants to get the Divine Spirit on. So if she plays Duskbreaker now, heals the Acolyte, if there is no answer for ToastMonster, the following turn, she can slam for a lot of damage.
Yeah, the fact that she got full ball clear and managed to keep those 2 minions up on the board was absolutely huge. It's just a matter of time. And she's got those 2 Drakes as well. So that's another 2 damage on top of it, and then another 2 after the next turn. But of course, ToastMonster will be playing that Hagatha to clear the rest of the board. But Cat's in a very good spot right now.
Lots of Inner Fires. You don't need that many Inner Fires, unfortunately, but the Divine Spirits are definitely something. And ToastMonster now, every turn, has to deal with the minion that's in front of him, especially if they have that high HP total.
But managed to get another Chain Gang anyway from the Zora from earlier, of course.
That's a nice pickup as well with the Lava Burst.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to get to a point now where he won't have any minions on the board, but it's going to be extremely difficult considering ToastMonster's deck and the position he's in right now.
The only thing I think ToastMonster is missing from his draw so far has been the Shadow Walk itself. I think he's got plenty of Battle Cries on board. He's just looking for Shadow Walk itself, and he is slowly running out of taunts. The heal's coming through back onto the Primordial Drake, and honestly now, ToastMonster does have to start to worry. How is he going to start clearing board? He has to make sure that even 30 HP is not likely to be enough against the combo Priest.
It's extremely difficult to this point now. It's considering, like you said before, he hasn't got the Shadow Walk in his deck yet. He can keep taking out these minions all he likes, but what you got to remember is, though, he does have Earth Shock, so anything he does need to push through, he can actually deal with that. He does have the Hex, so if things get a bit too situational and he doesn't want to take any more risks, he's got that. And of course, he's got that Lightning Storm to clear out any AoEs, but again, the heal he has won't make too much difference, but it does get another Chain Gang. Yeah,
Chain Gang comes down. That will generate, I believe it will just be 2 1/1 taunts. So he will have to worry about that. But the Earth Shock, just to clear his hand out here, take that down to a 2-1, but also reduces the effectiveness of the Divine Spirit Inner Fire.
She hasn't got any Psychic Screams. I assume she does have a couple in her deck in this matchup, but we'll have to wait and see. But
I think you would, likely, but you also have to worry about Psychic Scream polluting your Shadow Visions. So you might run one, potentially. I don't know exactly what the full list for the Combo Priest is right now, but you do always, when you're relying on Shadow Visions to pull a win condition for you, you do have to worry about extra spells polluting those Shadow Visions pools.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult right now. Does get one of the Drakes finally after all this game, which may do something, but not too much, of course, because only does 4 damage, and he's got a 2-1 on the board later on. It won't really make too much difference. So she's in a very hard spot. She's just trying to figure out exactly what she can do for the next couple of turns until she gets the minion she actually needs.
Oh, there we go. That's the Radiant Elemental down 2. And again, ToastMonster questions being asked of him in the following turn. Do you have what it takes? He's actually just going to use the Inner Fire straight away and pump some damage in. Again, she only needs 1 Inner Fire to find her win condition now. And also ToastMonster, if it wasn't obvious before, it's now blindingly obvious this is actually just straight up combo.
Yeah, there's absolutely... yeah, there's no way. He definitely knows, probably from some of the things he saw at the start, but yeah, like I said before, at least he's got some AoEs to hold her back to a certain degree, but he still hasn't got that Shadow Walk. And when she gets those Psychic Screams as well later on in the game, that's going to hold him back even more. So it's going to be extremely difficult.
Lots of Spirit Echoes. If if I was ToastMonster, I might just be slamming Spirit Echoes on more Saranites because it just makes it more difficult for Cat, who relies on a direct route to face, to actually get the damage down. I mean, how many Spirit? He's got 3 Spirit Echoes in hand. That's a lot of Spirit Echoes.
You never know. Nothing wrong with having too many, I suppose. Better be safe than sorry, isn't it?
I mean, this could be the turn that Cat just starts to pop off on Lyra. I mean, you could Inner Fire Lyra for free, right? Or you can Inner Fire anything for free. It's going to do it to the Grumble. Didn't generate a card that Cat would have wanted. So ideally, she would have wanted to keep pumping out cards, and now she's starting to use those Divine Spirits just to get some kind of sort of drawback for her.
Yeah, this will be interesting to say the least. I think I was talking about the Psychic Screens before. I don't think it's actually in this deck. I think it's in a different preset, maybe more in the control methods, like you mentioned before, where even if she did, you could hold the Shadow Walk back further, but even then, you're basically just delaying the inevitable. So I think right now, that's not exactly going to help her, but at least she's got 1 Drake, 1 AoE, and also she's got Holy Nova Sorry on top of that, as well as that Spirit Slash to keep her in the game. But that Spirit Slash, not really too useful at this stage.
Spirit Lash, yeah, definitely not in a good position. I think this is just a straight-up Hex. Just Hex the Lyra, and again, Cat keeping a cool face, actually, not giving away anything in terms of emotional response. If that was Leroy on the other end there, he'd be flying around the bedroom, throwing pillows everywhere. Dan probably the same.
Dan would throw his headphones on the floor, lift his chair up, throw out a window. There's nothing, I can't predict this guy.
But Cat really chilled out, not going to let anything phase it just yet. She actually clears nicely with the Primordial Drake and still has a double Divine Spirit and Inner Fire, which will straight up kill ToastMonster in just 1 hit if he doesn't deal with this.
Yeah, he knows he's running out of time. There's only so much he can do to hold her back, but does freeze her, so spares a bit more time for her. Does have a Mana Tide on top of that to get some kind of card draw, but I don't think he's risking it.
He's got Earth and Might as well. Just have to be really careful about his hand size now. I think he just has to use this because if he overdraws Shadow Walk, he's sad. So he just uses that there to make sure that the next card that he draws doesn't overdraw a Shadow Walk. He has got Earth and Might for the follow-up turn onto his his elemental, the Wind Fury elemental there to make sure that they can clean things up on board. And the timely introduction of the Glacial Shard is going to be very happy for him because it means that he's slowed down that potential killing machine, which is the Primordial Drake.
I wonder.
And even though she has that Dustbreaker, it's not going to be any use so far without any dragons in that hand. But ToastMonster knows that as long as he keeps any minion that Cat puts on the board, keep it completely off and completely away, he's fine. He's in a very good place. But I don't know how long he can do it for. If we look at the cards now,
I think he's in a good position.
I think he is. Like, especially even if he doesn't have too much to hold it back from the spells he's going to get from the Hagatha, the Acolyte, and the Manatide Totem on top of that to get any card draws from the Volcanoes. So, and of course the Farsight as well.
You know, Cat is now desperately throwing minions down onto the board because, you know, she kind of has to. It's kind of the position that she's been put in. You need a minion on board to make Combo Priest work. If you can continue to control board and continue to deal with minions that are put down, or keep them at low HP values so it makes the Divine Spirit feel a bit worse, you're in a good position versus the Combo Priest. She didn't manage to pop off early on, and ToastMonster has managed to wrestle control. And that's actually, I like this play from Cat. Made it at 16 HP, means it's very difficult for ToastMonster to just trade in with his Elemental. And actually that puts her in a position where she's asking questions of ToastMonster again.
Yeah, you can do 13 damage just from on board, but he's going to be looking for something else. As you can see,
that's a big draw.
You know, it's quite a tough one. Maybe he should hit the Drake twice first before using the Volcano.
Yeah, Earth and Might, hit twice, then use Volcano. That would be my idea. Because then it guarantees that you clear off the board.
Yeah, because it's way too risky otherwise. Even though it's quite a difficult one, he knows it's only a matter of time before Cat does actually run out of options.
So that's 6. Yeah, that's exactly. You'll be 1 off. So you could either be really lucky and you don't lose your board, or you could be really unlucky and she keeps 1. But it'll only be a 1 HP minion at the end of the day regardless. So this is actually a decent Volcano, I think, for ToastMonster.
I'm just waiting for it. Okay. So it's only the Drake that stays alive. She can hit for 3/3, but again,
she's not. She's used a lot of Divine Spirits now. She's used a lot of those resources, and already with 2 Shadow Visions down, I think she's drawn 2 Inner Fires, so that's the last Inner Fire that she's got. She might have 1 more Divine Spirit in deck.
I'm just trying to think. Has she used 1 Shadow Vision or 2? I think because she's used 1 quite early.
2 Shadow Visions. I think she's used 2 Shadow Visions. I think she drew 1 Divine Spirit and 1 Inner Fire there. I think these are her last combo pieces because I think she's used 2 Divine Spirits and 2 Inner Fires now.
And just looking at everything so far with ToastMonster, so he hasn't got a Hex, which is something he would, you know, he would like right now. Not gonna lie. But he's got plenty of other options anyway. He's got the Heal, which is for free, considering he got that from the Farsight.
He's still not a Shadow Walk, though.
No,
none of these are a Shadow Walk.
Have you ever been in one of those situations where you play Shadow Walk Shaman and you've had it like turn, well, not turn 30, but of course like the 29 for the 30th card? Have you ever had that happen to you?
It's happened a few times. He's going to draw an Elemental from deck here, although there is no Elemental to draw. And he's going to start to Unstable Evolution. Looking for a Taunt, I guess.
Yeah, this would be the main thing he's looking for so far.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad, actually, because that's going to generate a 2/2 Taunt for him.
Yeah, he stopped pretty quick when he did that. He was like, yep, I'm having that. And of course now, he could Holy Nova then take it out, but might be a little bit of a waste, but I don't see any other option.
I feel you've gone all in on this Dustbreaker now. This is your win condition. This singular 10-10 is your win condition now for Cat. So you need to start pumping that to the face 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more, to be fair, and it seems like she will do that. She's not really in a spot to make choices because she hasn't got many choices to make so far.
Well, she's going to take out the Hogger because that will keep annoying, and she also gets the free card draw there by healing up onto the Dustbreaker when she gets the Bone Drake, which is obviously a nice addition. This feels like it could just be a strict Volcano turn, and that kills off pretty much the last win condition for Cat.
Yeah, we haven't seen those Volcanoes all game, and then these last few turns he managed to grab it straight out of the bag. But there we have it. That last win condition, sadly for her, went down the pan, and ToastMonster took it.
Yeah, and like you said, it was the last win condition there for Cat. She used her last combo pieces. I think she used all 3 Divine Inner Fire and Spirits. literally can't even say the combo. Divine Spirit and a Fire. She used all 3 of them over the course of that game in various situations, but there was always an answer for ToastMonster. That 10-10 was her last all-in, and she knew the 2 hexes were gone. She knew a lot of the board clear was gone. She knew it might be difficult for Toast to respond, but a good unstable evolution bought him some more time like we saw, and then the Volcano was there to clean it up. And as soon as that was gone, she knew there was nothing that she could do to beat the Shadowwalk Shaman. And actually, that was a matchup that was favored technically for the Combo Priest.
Yeah, I don't think she had the best of card draws in terms of that expect, but you saw from then that even with ToastMonster, with some of the AoEs he only had a Lightning Storm for quite a long time, but didn't really use his Acolyte or his Mana Tide to try and get those card draws, and he didn't have the Shadowwalk the entire game. But I think that Hagathar...
had like a full hand the whole game, though, because of Hagathar as well, so it was difficult to use the card draw, because there was no way you can burn Shadowwalk in those scenarios. But, I mean, she had a decent draw. I mean, she had huge combo potential. It was just trying to find something that would stick. If she'd found a minion that sticked, like turn 5, turn 6, she could have one-shot him. Yeah. But every single time she threw something down that seemed like quite a beefy minion, there was always an answer for ToastMonster.
I think she was just wired for those hexes, you know. It's one of those things where it can be a killer for the Inner Fire Priest, but I think she was just trying to play as cautious as possible, and maybe there's some way out of it later on in the game, but sadly for her, just wasn't to be.
So, this is going to be Malagos Druid against Even Shaman, which I would imagine is Even Shaman favoured.
Even if it was favoured, I would say only slightly. It depends on the actual Shaman's card draw.
Yeah,
but as you can see now...
You are right. According to HS Replay, it's actually Malagos Druid favoured.
Oh, okay. That's quite interesting, because in some matchups, when I've been Even Shaman, I've not had too much of an issue, but I've not played that many as Even Shaman, but it does depend... Sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Carry on. I just had a thought, and sometimes when I have a thought, I just make a sound. And my thought was, oh yeah, wait a second, Spreading Plague and Branching Paths versus a very big board is a thing. And yeah, that's a thing that deals quite well with big boards. So that is something that you do always have to worry about if you're the Even Shaman. It just depends on how much pressure you can start putting down early on. And actually, this is good pressure coming out from Cat.
So literally what I've learned from you is that I know now when you're thinking, pretty much. But with Even Shaman in this matchup, of course, with Malagos Druid, even though it can be slightly favoured, if Even Shaman get a good curve or get a good mulligan, which so far she hasn't, then it can be depending on the situation. But it seems like now that she's not going to have a great time considering her curve leading into this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great top deck. She's got a 4-5 on board. The Druid is very slow with this Twig of the World tree that he's using. So actually, I would say that the pressure is now on ToastMonster to respond.
It's annoying that I've said that, considering what her mulligan was like.
Yeah.
And she's top decked some pretty good minions, you know.
Actually, there's not many good answers here for ToastMonster.
Yeah, even if he swipes, that's going to do absolutely...
nada.
Correct, yeah. And it seems like now he's just going to have to wait for something else. Yeah, he's not really looking too great for him. Even if he does use it, takes out one minion, and of course the rest will get healed. So... yeah, it seems like he's going to show Cat now that he's in quite a desperate spot. That
is a desperation play. Cat probably knows that, having seen a swipe. I mean, this is just good time to just throw down Saronite Chain Gang, pump another totem onto the board. I have been delivered a Lucozade by my product manager.
He's a fantastic man,
Other drinks are available, I have just been told. I didn't realize. I thought when I turned my tap on, I just thought Lucozade came out, actually.
See, when Ben does something for someone, he does it well.
He does. It was a big bottle as well. I've got one of the massive ones. And it's got Lara Croft on it, too. I mean, great.
Can't complain with that, really, can you?
Other drinks are available.
I'm going to maybe get him... I think he has to get me a drink next time, I think. I think I didn't do too much of a job, because I said I wanted nothing. I was being nice. I was being sweet. You told him you wanted
nothing. I don't know what I work Ben to the bone, mate.
make it his money's worth. But anyway,
yeah, I'll have one of those as well. Thanks, actually. in the break, though, I probably can't eat an ice cream on the show. Actually, can I get away with eating an ice cream?
I don't know. It's a question we'll have to ask. We'll have to see if Ben will let us have an ice cream on the stream.
However, let's round this back, and actually, this is a pretty awful situation. I think the Ferocious Howl is kind of desperation. Just need to get some more armor back. 2 Ferocious Howls, though, is not bad. It's 2 card draw, buys you another turn. At least one more turn anyway. And he's really going to be hoping, I think, for a Spreading Plague. Although, off the top, Jasper Spellstone is not bad.
Yeah, if we look at this at the moment, so turn 8, he's got the Lich King, and then he's got...
Yeah, but Lich King feels bad because it just trays directly into the Mountain Giant.
It does, and even then, even when he uses the Infestation, he can put those tyrants on board straight afterwards, but I don't think it'll be too late. He's got enough armor to last for a couple of turns.
Yeah.
And of course, with his hero power on top of that, do you know what? I don't think it's a too bad of a spot. So he's got Lich King turn 8. He can put that down to hold much off, but the thing is, so
the guy's doomed. Oh, the guy's absolutely doomed.
I'm trying to give ToastMonster a glimmer of hope, like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel.
I mean, to be honest, actually, next turn, he can Lich King, he can then attack, get 10 mana crystals, and use the ultimate infestation.
Yeah.
So that's probably his best bet.
And then at least he gets another 5/5 on the board, he can get the 2 tyrants down. But the only thing I'm thinking about is whether if it's too late.
Yeah, I'm going to have one of these. Thanks, Ben.
Cheers, Ben. See, we're treated well here. He's a lovely man.
ESL UK. I'm going to mute my microphone when I take a bite of this because it's going to sound terrible.
It's not going to be like anything else, but of course, we'll put that Lich King down. But use the Infestation on top of that, so now you can get the 2 tyrants down.
They got nuts in them and everything.
See, I don't mind nuts.
I know, that's why I said it's quality. big nut fam. That is a pretty big swing turn here. 5/5, 4/4, and the 8/8 on board as well. However, Cat does have resources at her disposal to deal with this. Hex, you can use to keep your 8/8 alive. You do have the Argent Commander. Plenty of things, and actually double Hex works nicely too. But
as you know, it does have another Infestation for later on when it does lose any steam. Of course, it's got the Nourish as well. But if you have a look as well, on top of this, he has to swipe and everything, but I think it just might be too late.
Doom Pack's alright, but you will discard a lot of cards. Ultimate Infestation might keep you alive. Alexstrasza does gain you 10 HP, and you can trade things up then. However, you are kind of clutching at straws at that point. You have Starfire, you've got Moonfire, might be able to help you. You've got Naturalize in hand to deal with the 8/8 there as well. So you do have options, plenty of things for ToastMonster to do here.
It's just a matter of how he's going to play things out with the swipe. Again,
I mean, you could Starfire. He's got Starfire there, right?
Yeah, so I think he's got only one, or has he got 2?
No, he's got 1 Starfire, he's got 1 Starfall. So he could Starfire, he could Naturalize, and he could Hero Power this turn, and trade in. So Starfire gets you a card, Naturalize the 8/8, trade up with your cards, actually clears the entire board. That's not bad, but you are in range of just dying to Alec here. So I think you have to Hero Power armor your own face.
Yeah, but at least with Alexstrasza now, he can get back to that 15 HP, take out what he can on the board. So it's not looking too bad considering that Alexstrasza has helped him a lot, and of course, he will armor up in future turns. And even if he does use up a lot of his AoE and a lot of his spells early in the game, he's got the Nourish, he's got the Infestation. So the spot he's in right now, can't really complain.
No, but he's going to have to start altering that win condition of a straight Malagos win into trying to get some sort of board control. I'm dropping ice cream everywhere and chocolate, and I got it on my white shirt, and I feel you're
like a messy 4-year-old.
Yeah. It's kind of what you have to do when you look after me when I cast. I'm just a bit messy.
So, well, I'll do my best, but I think Ben can maybe, again, help clean you up afterwards. But looking now, I think he's trying to see what takes priority, what spells take priority. It turns in what he does, but looking now, he hasn't got any... Of course, he hasn't got any minions to clear. He's in a good spot in terms of ball control. Maybe a little bit well considering what he might have. But yeah, so far...
I've eaten the whole thing now, so I can continue to talk.
I haven't even touched mine. Have you seen mine? Look, yeah, literally,
I had a quick glance over at yours, and I was thinking, what a lightweight. Can't get an ice cream down in 5 seconds. I'm the old hat at this, mate. So let's see, take out there, and he's going to start pumping damage to face with the Argent Commander. But like you mentioned, there are so many options now for ToastMonster to be able to try and claw his way back here. Kat is looking at her Alec here with that Flame Tongue Totem and saying, I have 10 burst damage from hand right now. So if I can keep him at around 10, and there is no taunts for me to deal with, I'm in a good space. I'm in a good space. And then you add the Direwolf. If the Direwolf doesn't go down, or that we can assume that it will. I want to see what ToastMonster Moonfire to clear off, and it might just be a strict Starfall. He does have to hero power to keep himself alive, though. He might not know that, though.
It depends if he armors up, because if he uses the Windlord and the Tome as well, that's 10
damage straight up.
Yeah, so that should be win condition.
Exactly. Wonder if ToastMonster feels comfortable at 10 HP. This is the decision. Oh, I don't know. He might feel comfortable at 10 HP.
He's tempted, isn't he? He's really tempted, but if he does play any of those cards and not hero power, then yeah, he'll be done for.
Oh, there we go. Good lad. He knows. He has the foresight to realize that actually 10 HP is not a massive deal. But
I'm not gonna lie, he was tempted, wasn't he?
He was tempted. He was tempted by the Nourish, but then again, the Nourish isn't actually going to provide you much. Like, even if you draw Malagos now, it's not really a win condition. And actually, Cat, when you look at it from this angle, I mean, she's staring down getting lethal next turn. That is just 2 damage over lethal for her. That's 16 damage on board represented. What am I talking about? Yeah, that is 16 damage on board represented. So she has to now play something that is going to keep her alive. So that is either playing the Lich King or straight up Alakiring, apparently.
But it looks like she will do it anyway, because you've got to remember as well that even if that doesn't stay on board, she's got the Argent Command on top of that. But again, you can easily hero power to stop that. But again, you have to see if he takes out the Totem and that Windlord.
Yeah, it's really easy to clear this entire board, though. There's the Swipe coming through. And that Swipe's going to clear that off. He's also going to use the Starfire, and that's going to be straight lethal. He had lethal in hand, and Cat just wasn't expecting it. And that's the first sort of almost dismay emotion that we've seen coming up from Cat. She kept such a straight face for the entirety of this, and and that was the kind of, what? No, that's so rubbish. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And actually, I mean, credit to ToastMonster. He kept on in a matchup. Are you just holding your ice cream?
Yeah, I'm just chilling. It's not in a good spot at the moment. It's pretty much melted. He literally ate his instantly, like within like 2 minutes, and mine's still just dropping off. I'm covered in chocolate.
I'm used to this. I just managed to like devour things in seconds. I used to, when we had the old Premiership, we used to get these little boxes of really like home cooked type meals. And I'd be given one in between the breaks. I'd just be like,
oh, you're one of those, just straight down, no mucking about.
I'm so hungry, like all the time. Anyway, we've got ToastMonster's Warlock now, and he's in a good position because if that's a Cube Warlock, it has good matchups against a lot of other things. If it's a Control Warlock, it's got great matchups against most things. Even if it's a Zoo Warlock, you have a decent win rate against certain matchups. So, you know, depending on what ToastMonster's got, a Warlock is a good class that you would figure could pick up at 1 win out of 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. With Cube Lock as well, it's one of those decks where, you know, it's a good all-round deck to have, especially as a third deck to play, because
you don't want to eat a little bit of that?
I'll probably eat a little bit.
You just eat a little bit of it, and I'll just...
You just take over. You take over from me, and
I'll just talk about stuff. I just don't want you to like waste the ice cream. I mean, it was a solid ice cream, so... Yeah,
it's not really solid anymore. It's pretty much melted on my hands, so yeah.
Well, that's why I was giving you the option to just eat some more ice cream, you know?
Well, I'm more focused on getting the chocolate off my chair right now, but...
Well, luckily you can't see the bottom half of my white shirt, because it is kind of covered in chocolate.
We'll let you off this time, it's fine.
Okay. Right, it is going to be, well, looks to be Odd Rogue, and confirmed by Baku just apparently being there. And it is going to be, going to be Even Warlock. So Even Warlock versus Odd Rogue, and that is Odd Rogue favored by about 8%.
Do you know what I love about this? Is the fact that she's got 2 of those Viciouses straight off the bat, but then ToastMonster has 2 Spellbreakers. And yeah, I was going to say that Cat's not looking too bad of a spot, but now with ToastMonster's 2 Spellbreakers, it's probably more going around his way.
Yeah, no, you slam a Vicious now, because there's very few ways to deal with it on turn 3 for ToastMonster. You don't run Shadow Bolt in this deck, so you can't deal with it easily. And now he's like, oh, I need to deal with that. Next turn, he's going to play the Doomsayer. What a brilliant top deck from the... and you can see Cat's face. She's like, nah, can't believe that's a top deck.
She's like, nah, man.
But
this is a shame. But yeah, it's one of those. But the thing is, though, he's got 2 Spellbreakers anyway on top of that. So
exactly.
It's even more difficult.
He's also got the Hellfire if you just want to deal with it completely. So yeah, absolutely. This stops the Vicious Fledgling doing what it's designed to do, which is get those adaptations when it hits the face. And now ToastMonster, like you said, has got options. He can even just slam Mountain Giant if he really wanted to. Would be a bit risky, because you are risking that this Vicious Fledgling just runs out of control. But he's got things like Spellbreaker, like you said. He's got Hellfire if he wants it. He could even just take the weapon off with the Ooze, although I think that's probably the least powerful play from the lot that we just mentioned there. So I would be wagering towards making the risky decision of slamming a Mountain Giant, which is going to be the case.
Right now, he's in a very good spot. With the curve he's had, especially with those minions and the silences as well, he can take risks. He can have no issue with that. So even if it does quite a large amount of damage, or if it has Poison, Wind Fury, Divine Shield, any of that, it won't make too much difference.
Exactly. He can always Spellbreaker it afterwards, but he has now just taken a little bit of damage to the face. 6 damage to the face there, and the 4 damage in hand, and he doesn't really have too many healing prospects. I think Cat will be conscious of Hooked Reaver, though, so she won't be getting in below 15 if she can help it. There are 2 options for her to take here. Either just, like, go to Pound Town, slam him in the face like hardcore, or wait and don't put him in Hooked Reaver territory.
No, you're right. You can see now that he's pretty much in that territory already. But yeah, no, I like that. That was pretty good. But right now, actually, he does have the Hellfire. He does have some healing as well, but
my production had a little bit of an issue with the way that I just the way that I just delivered that. I thought it was fine. But,
bit of a naughty moment, was it?
No, perfectly fine.
As long as they're fine, we're fine. That's all we need to know. But Gaza Edwin down doesn't really get much from that. I think she's just trying to get some kind of ball control to.
I think she's just trying to threaten lethal. Like at this point, she's just like, if I just put damage on board, it forces him to have answers. If he's got Hooked Reaver, he's got Hooked Reaver. I'll have to deal with it. I've got Poisonous. I've got other ways of getting past it. I could even just dagger up and use Deadly Poison again. I've also got Fungalmancer. So I guess she's probably not that worried about Hooked Reaver just based on what she's got in hand, knowing that if she can just land another 2 adaptations to face, like, she could potentially be lethaling ToastMonster next turn.
I think he's trying to decide whether he should put the Reaver down or just get healed. It's quite a difficult decision because he's worried that, you know, even if he does have a silence, which I'm pretty sure she doesn't, we get catastrophic. But he's, you know, he feels like he has close to winning, but depending on what she has, he doesn't know what the other 4 cards she could have because she's still got the Vicious as well. It looks like he's playing it a little bit safe, but as you can see now, he's got the Fug, the Fungalmancer on top of that. So I mean, it could be quite a hard one. Of course, he's got that Deadly Poison to complement with that hero power.
Okay. I was just talking to my production, sorry. We had a discussion about many life input things that I probably can't repeat on stream. But yeah, you're right. The Spellbreaker's come down now, but there is still 12 HP. She's still got the option to Fungalmancer. She's still got the option to dagger up and use Deadly Poison. I mean, she could just threaten lethal if ToastMonster doesn't deal with this soon enough. And that's 8 damage. That's going to leave him on 4. That puts him in position where even a Hooked Reaver might not save the day.
I don't know what's worse, what you just said, or the fact that I dropped entire ice cream on my trousers.
I think probably dropping the entire ice cream in your trousers is a bad shout.
Yeah, I'll have to clean that up afterwards. But anyways, as you can see, ToastMonster's only got 4 HP remaining, so... But he's got plenty of options. Hellfire, it's way too risky at this stage. But again, still has that Reaver to block the Vicious, the Fungalmancer as well, but it's going to be very tough for him.
I think at this point, Hooked Reaver goes down to quite a lot of things. You still have a Divine Shield 3/3 on board. You're going to trade away most of your board to deal with this buffed up Fungalmancer board that Cat's got. I mean, you don't want to play your 2-mana 2/4 because it's going to deal more damage to your face. This is tough, I think. A really tough position. I think it has to be a Hooked Reaver turn. I feel like Hooked Reaver is the only way that you survive remotely here.
Yeah, considering what she's got at the moment, it looks like it will be the best play off. You've got the Reaver, and then if anything does happen after he plays it, he does have that Lich King later on in the game.
He's going to take the seriously safe route and trade his 8/1 into the 3/1. Just knowing... Oh, she was maybe hoping for a Soulfire off that there. But just hoping that there's no way that she gets through this Hooked Reaver easily. Now, there is the Echo Glinda Crowskin in hand, and I think there is a thought going through Cat's mind where she could play Glinda, dagger up, and then just get double Deadly Poison, which would make a very beefy dagger. That is something to consider.
Yeah, at least that way she has a weapon or another win condition later on in the game if she feels like ToastMonster doesn't have too much else to play with. But you can see, at least he's got, it's quite difficult. He's got the Shroom to at least heal, but he's got Lich King prevent till turn 8. But even then, it's not really too much to play with.
That's an interesting choice coming up from Cat here. There was the option to just continue to threaten lethal by daggering up and using Deadly Poison, trading your face into the Hook Reaver with the Blink Fox, and then you have 4 damage. But obviously, what's the likelihood that you're going to have some kind of heal and another kind of taunt? That's something that I think Cat was considering. And this Hooked Reaver has done its job. It's prevented ToastMonster from going down when lethal was threatened. He also has got 2 Shroom Brewers in hand.
I was a bit worried then, but it seems like he will play them in the end. It was desperately needed, in my opinion. You've got to play at this stage as safe as possible to make sure that Cat doesn't have any kind of opportunity to come back in this game. And I think she feels like it now, but she had that silence a little bit too late.
Yeah. If she'd had that silence just a few turns previous, she could have slammed a 4 damage dagger into the face for lethal.
That is a shame. Getting that Iron Beak out just the next turn as well. It's one of the... Oh, you just don't want to see it, do you? It's one of those things.
It's not the one, is it?
No.
It's not the one. And it looks like it's going to be a buff up the Hench Clan Thug turn. And constantly keeps asking questions, but does get dealt with by the Shroom Brewer there on the other side for ToastMonster. You hate to see it, though. You do hate to see it. A late Iron Beak out.
You could tell from a reaction. I saw it, and then literally as I saw the Iron Beak out, I saw it, and she made the same reaction I did. It's like, why now? Why couldn't you give it to me last turn? It's typical. These things do happen, sadly, but it seems like now Shimmy will be healing up again, which she does. And of course, the Ooze will destroy his weapon. But I'm just trying to figure out what else she can actually do to come back from this.
I think she's in a tough spot now. ToastMonster managed to stabilize at 4 HP. There is the burst potential if she can get through these taunts. She still has got Leroy in hand, but honestly, there's a lot of lifesteal coming through now for ToastMonster. He's got the follow-up soon of Blood Reaver Ghouldown, and as soon as Blood Reaver comes down, that's game over for Cat. That is really game over for Cat. And as Glinda comes through, this is going to be generating a bit more value because you can play Firefly twice and get a couple more 1-2s in your hands, but really not going to save the day as it stands.
Yeah, she's hoping to at least keep up with the tempo in this match. She knows that she hasn't got too much else to play with. She needs to get the job done now because that Blood Reaver will come at some point. But
this is a big turn. This is like a really big turn because if ToastMonster plays Lich King and passes on that, he is so close to going down. Like, it's very, very close because she's got 6 damage on board. All it's going to take is 2 turns of 6 damage. And ToastMonster is now weighing up in his head whether this is going to be a Hellfire turn because it is a nice-looking Hellfire turn, but it does put him in range of a potential Leroy Coldblood. It puts him in range of a couple of other combos as well.
yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but sometimes risks do need to be high risk, high reward, you could say.
Yeah.
But it does put a Ooze down slightly different time than I expected, but he just wants to get at least enough on the board, so if she does play anything else, then at least he can trade and keep the HP spare.
I think now Cat probably plays the Iron Beak, the Flame Elementals, daggers up, and hopes that next turn she draws Leroy. But even then, Blood Reaver Ghouldown is looming on the other side of the board. And once Blood Reaver comes down, I think that's almost going to be a concede from Cat.
Yeah, I think after that, that would be said and done. It's just a matter of time, but looking at this stage, she can take out the 1-2, but it's not going to make too much difference. If you can see what he's got the Lich King still, again, like he's got the Blood Reaver. That it will be his win condition, and Cat will probably tap afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, there is still the potential for a Leroy Coldblood, but it is a slim potential, and even then, it's not going to be the biggest, top deck that's going to win the game. And now he's sitting at 14. So actually, if Leroy does come off the top here, I think she's like 1 off lethal.
And even if she doesn't get that Leroy Coldblood, she's got the hero power as well to get 3 HP a turn, including any damage that needs to occur. So it's not going to be looking too good. It's like I said before, she's waiting for it. She's hoping for something, but
I think she's done now.
I think that's it.
Yeah, because the taunt comes back. She can't actually get through the taunt this turn without using her silence. And every turn, that's going to be an extra 3 HP that ToastMonster is regenerating with his hero power. That is literally the most broken hero power in the game. Blood Reaver Cooldown. It's
not a fan?
Well, I am when I'm playing Warlock, not a fan when I'm playing against it. And I think Kat is now going to like rack her brains to find out exactly if there is anything left in her deck that gives her a win here. And I feel like it's probably going to be slim.
Maybe even if she sees this Lich King.
Ooh, that's a bold move right there. Lays down the law.
But even then, that could be taken out by the hero power, and that win condition could be gone, especially from that cold blood as well. It just depends what comes up. Nice. But yeah, I think ToastMonster knows now that there's not really much he can do.
He's just got lethal.
Yeah.
He can just slam face, hero power face, and hellfire.
Yep. It's all said and done pretty much. But to be fair, Kat did play really well throughout that whole series. Most of the games were really close, but she never had that win condition she could actually get to finish off any of those matchups. But so far, well played, and of course, ToastMonster takes that 3-0.
Yeah, Kat, welcome to the ESL Premiership,
Ice cream's gone now.
Your ice cream's gone now, on the floor.